Hi all! Everything in my video is pulled from the public domain, and I am using them under the Fair Use, Fair Dealings guidelines. Everything I say is my own opinion. You should look into this information for yourselves, but I'm pretty sure I'm right. Good morning, everybody. I'm starting off thanking Suzanne Brompton on Twitter for these fabulous photos of Johnny. I think I just want to start with him today. Once again, the real royals are out and about. We have a lot to cover. Let's just jump in and get there, shall we? Let's go. We're starting off with our lovely Queen Consort Camilla, looking great in red. She is Colonel of the Grenadier Guards. She went to Lily Barracks in Aldershot. Camilla was there today to meet members of the battalion, present medals, and meet families. Very nice. Now, obviously, I've never met Camilla myself, but I hear that she's really very nice, personable, and of course, I've heard that she has a wicked sense of humor. I think she would be a lot of fun at a party. Honestly. Anyway, and I've said it before, I'm going to say it again. I think she looks lovely in this color red. I think that's a good go-to color for her. All right, moving on. Next up, we have Prince Edward. He was out meeting the Duke of Edinburgh Award participants in Blackpool. He saw volunteering efforts. He went to the Oracle before heading to Preston to join in with skill-based activities. He saw cooking. He saw racing. He saw all kinds of really cool crafts and arts and things that they do. And he even dropped the flag on a race, which I think is pretty cool. Now, I know we're all holding our breath, waiting for Charles to make him the official Duke of Edinburgh, which we all know was Prince Philip and the Queen's, what they wanted. Charles promised he would do that. I think they're waiting until his birthday. For those who are unaware, this award is for people 14 to 24 to either 1, improve a physical activity, 2, learn a new skill, 3, volunteer for a cause of your choice, or 4, complete a challenging expedition. Love it. All right, now we're going to move on to our lovely Catherine, the Princess of Wales, who stepped out in London's West End this past evening for a pre-campaign launch event. The event was hosted by the Royal Foundation Center for Early Childhood at BAFTA. Very nice. Catherine walked in looking as excellent and as at ease and lovely as she usually does. Now, she has been working for 10 years, over 10 years, talking to experts, collecting data, because she wanted to do an early education initiative on how the first 5 years really forms who you are, how you react to people around you, how you behave, how your life can turn out. We know that if in the first 5 years, you're not made to feel that you're worthy, you're not hugged, you're not kissed, you're not cherished, that can affect you throughout your whole life. The idea behind this campaign is to change the way Britons raise their children. For those of you who are wondering, it was an Alexander McQueen outfit. It was a very glitzy, star-studded event. Yeah, looks lovely. Now, for those who are wondering, believe it or not, this is just a pre-launch event. There's going to be more to come. I'm, for one, am very happy for her. We know how hard she's worked through the years to get all this together. It looks like everybody had a fabulous time. Of course, Prince William went with her. Why wouldn't he? And I think she's doing good work. And she's trying to make a difference, which I love. Now, for those of you that are going on about her outfit, thank you to Remoulade Sauce, you should know that everything she had on was a rewear except for the actual outfit. So the shoes, the purse, the earrings, they were all rewears. Some of the people that were invited last night were people who have been on this journey with her from the start. I mean, experts and stuff that have been working with her for the last, 10 years. So Of course, you knew she was going to make the papers, but what they did was absolutely hilarious in the UK. The title. Yeah, so here she is. You see that title at the bottom? She looks good in suits. All right, moving on. You know, I have to point out that the Sussex squad, of course, started trying to compare the two. So let's just do a little comparison. There's Catherine in her tailored suit. There's Megan in her tailored suit. And look what this one Sugar wrote. He always looks at her like she's an idiot. No, he looks at her with pride. This is looking at somebody like they're an idiot. All right, here we are the next day, and Catherine, Princess of Wales, is in a market called Kirkgate in Leeds. And what she's doing is meeting vendors and members of the public for the launch of the Shaping Us Together initiative. So after Princess Catherine got through the crowds, yes, some people asked her for selfies. Yes, she gave those selfies. She greeted people. She's so gracious. Then she started going around meeting the vendors that were in the shops. You know that Catherine has to be really, really good at chit-chat to walk through, a market and look at all the different stores and find something interesting to say about each store, what they sell, etc., etc. You know what I'm saying? Like, at some point you would think she would run out of things to say, but somehow she never does. Now, at one point, Catherine spoke to a woman named Joanne Johnson, who is a stall holder of the nut shop, who said afterwards that she knows about the Early Years Project and she thinks Catherine is credible because she's a mother. I agree. Next up, Catherine spoke to market traders and representatives from organizations in Leeds about how they raise their children. And after that, Catherine went to the University of Leeds and spoke with students in the Childhood Studies program because she wants to talk to them about what she's learned during all of her time that she's been researching this, which I think is nice. I feel like this initiative of hers is going to be a great success. I really do. The students, by the way, when they spoke to her, said that she was extremely relatable. Now, for those wondering, again, thank you to Remoulade Sauce about the outfit that she was wearing. You'll be happy to know that once again, the earrings were a rewear, the shoes were a rewear, the purse was a rewear. What was not was that gorgeous dress. You all should know that Piers Morgan invited Meghan and Harry to come on the show and talk to him if they had something to say, and they declined. Interesting. Really quickly, I also want to say while we're talking about Piers Morgan that he pointed out to King Charles that it's the people that pay for that coronation, and they don't want Harry and Meghan there. Moving on, everybody's asking why Meghan Markle was not at Oprah's birthday party. Did she drop her? She could have dropped her. It's also being said that maybe she's not showing herself because she had some sort of surgical procedure and she can't show her face until everything's healed up. That would be an interesting little twist. I just cannot see, as much as she wants to hobnob with these people, that she would turn down an invite if she got one. All right, moving on. All right, we're going back to the finances of Archewell, and the first thing I'm going to touch on is this, that apparently Archewell funds the UCLA for Technology Research Program. Sophia Noble, she's the one who got that award through the NAACP, the Digital Award. She's on Netflix quoting research by Christopher Boozy. Things that make you go, Now, also in discussing money, we know that Harry and Meghan released their first impact report for 2020 through 2022. Interestingly enough, let's not forget that in 2020, they only made $50,000. That was their own documentation that they released to the public. So the only reason they even have 13 million is because an anonymous donor gave them 10 million. I would lay my bets on Tyler Perry. That's what I would do. Sorry. Anyway, I have told you guys before in a previous video how this works, but I'm going to show it to you again. All right, just a small clip from a previous video. So watch this. The new website for Harry and Meghan's charity is up. Archewell, or Archewell. Okay, I probably didn't say that right. Now, it says on a different website that this nonprofit is probably going to offer classes, lectures, seminars, conferences, workshops, mentoring, and host events for cultural, sporting, mental health, and entertainment purposes. And under state and federal law, as long as a nonprofit corporation is recognized and operated for the nonprofit purpose, and as long as they have secured the proper tax exemptions, it can bring in more money than it spends to conduct its activities. In other words, it can make a profit. Tax-exempt nonprofits often make money as a result of their activities, and they use it to cover expenses. So there are no legal requirements for a predetermined maximum of overhead spending for nonprofits. None. So a nonprofit's overhead includes the cost of personnel, fundraising expenses, which includes salaries. Also included in this is the cost of travel. Now, we all know what that means. Hotels, food, materials, everything is a write-off. And everything is allowed as long as it relates in some way to the nonprofit. So let's say I want to visit my good friend 2 states over and I want to take the company private jet. All I have to do is find a charity near her home, stop in for 10 to 15 minutes, and the flight is a write-off per the charity. Here in the United States, we have the Better Business Bureau, which is a company that watchdogs other companies. And I was absolutely shocked because by their standards, 65% of a nonprofit's total expenses are usually for program expenses. That's right, 65% goes for salaries, travel, food, etc. 30% is for fundraising. And if you're calculating it out, you know that that leaves 5% for charity. That's right, people, 5%. So if Harry and Meghan's website has 10 charities listed and you want to donate $100, only $5 goes to the charity and the rest gets eaten up by their, quote, expenses. Now, while we're talking about Archewell, I'm going to play for you now another clip from another video about them that I did just to make sure that you understand what's going on with their website. So watch this and then we'll continue. Meghan and Harry are being accused of taking ideas from the public through their Archewell website. So I thought, surely not. These two who are producing and they got this $100 million deal, why would they need ideas from the public? That's pretty obvious. They haven't been able to come up with anything. And of course, it also came to light that these two privacy-seeking people are also collecting information and sharing it. So they're not protecting your personal information. A journalist who's in Australia put out the privacy policy to start with of their Archewell website. And it clearly says that they're going to collect your information and they can share it for profit. So they basically sell your information. He talked about it on Twitter and then he put up a tweet with a link to the privacy policy. Here it is. He was very specific, and sure enough, there was the tweet that says, here they are suing photographers for invasion of privacy, and they can do all of this, and then they share it. And in case you can't read it, here is a closer up version of their privacy notice, which clearly says everything that this journalist found. So as I've told you guys before, don't go on their website, not even to take a peek, because the second you do, they collect the stuff from your computer and put cookies on your computer so they can track you. It's not good. Now, there are people online saying that's not true, but as you can see, it's right there in black and white. It's absolutely true. Now, at the same time, it looks like the two of them have turned to the public to try to come up with some ideas for Netflix, because we all know they haven't been able to come up with anything. And sure enough, on their website, there's a place where you can submit your stories and your thoughts about your compassion and action, your ideas. Here's a copy of the link. And the interesting thing is, it says that if you submit your ideas, they're going to feature you on their website. But here's what it doesn't say. They're reading your ideas and they have the right to use them in their projects if they so wish. And here's the interesting part. It's written in there that that is essentially a non-negotiable contract. So any ideas that you give them, they can use and you will not get paid a penny for them. Zip. The terms and conditions on their website make it very clear that if you give them anything, you cannot sue them, you can't go back, you can't ask to be paid, nothing. They get your information and they can pass it off as their own. Now, a blind item came out where people said, what happened to the other $10 million? You spent $3 million, where's the other $10 million? And this young lady on TikTok actually came out and said, what's the deal? They basically gave out $250,000 a quarter or whatever. Like, where's the money? So, of course, Sussex Squad supporters come out and say they had to put that money aside so that they could give it out later. All right, 3% of $13 million is $650,000. So they gave out more than the 5%. But I think you guys are going to be shocked. They're not going to be giving out another $10 million. Personally, I think they've probably spent most of that. So I also find it interesting that they don't tell anybody how much they gave to each of the charities. I think that they should be completely transparent. You know what I'm saying? Instead, they just say, well, we gave some here and we gave some there. I'd like to know how much. Now, finally, this story came out about the time, again, King Charles didn't remove Harry as a counselor of state. He added more to the pool, so Harry will never be called on. Then they're asking him to strip the titles. He's not going to. Parliament is now working on it. So, King Charles looks very benevolent because he's not doing any of this. Yes, I think they're going to lose their titles. And finally, Genevieve put this up on Twitter. It really caught my attention. Archewell said, quote, "We will spend the next year working on building a better online world," which actually translates to, "Dear peasants, kindly shut up and know your place. Refrain from having a voice or opinion and allow us to grift in peace. Adore us and we'll let you speak." I mean, the thing is, that is so spot on, it's not funny. All right, you guys, you know what I want. Leave those comments below. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the bell to be notified of all my stuff, including my lives when I go live. Don't forget to go up into the description box where you'll find the links to my Twitter, my Getter, my Rumble, my email, my Patreon. Don't forget that today, or I should say actually, because I work a day behind, that yesterday was our last day for our fundraiser. So any money at this point that goes into the coffee fund or through the thanks button comes back to me. We're going to let me transport money into the PayPal account, and then we're going to donate, and I'll show you all receipts when that's done. As always, you guys, have a great day.